Back. We have a small amount of time here before we break for news and weather at the top of the hour, so let's not delay. Let's go straight to the next caller, and this happens to be the independent MHA for Mount Pearl Southlands, Paul Lane. How you doing?
Pete, I'm doing great this afternoon. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Can't wait to hear what's on your mind this time.
Well, I wanted to actually call in about a community event. But before I do want to say that when I came into the House of Assembly on Monday, I was pleasantly surprised to see a bill on my desk, and it related to a topic that we spoke about only 2 weeks ago. On the topic of reform, legislative reform, and basically what it was is a bill that would basically force the government to present financial information to the public, the true picture, if you will, and the estimates prior to an election. And that was something, of course, that you and I had a good discussion on a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know if anybody was listening or if they'd received feedback from somebody else or if they decided to do it on their own. But at the end of the day, it did go through second reading and committee of the whole. So it just has to go through third reading now to be passed. And I'll give credit where credit is due, and I congratulate the government on bringing that forward. I was glad to support it.
Any perceivable loopholes or options for government to fudge on that promise or that eventuality before each election?
Well, it looks pretty clear to me, but I mean, it's like anything, I suppose. At any given time, you can go into the legislature and change any laws or legislation that exists, but as it's written there now, from what I can see, it looks pretty solid. So, kudos to the government for doing it.
All right, so a little thumbs up check mark there. Sounds good.
Absolutely. So anyway, the other reason why I called, and I just want to remove my MHA hat for a second and put on my Kinsman hat. I'm a member of the Kinsman Club of Mount Pearl.
I hope it's an efficient hat because we got a minute.
Okay, it won't be long. But anyway, I just want to promote the Mount Pearl Citizen of the Year. It's coming up on April the 21st, will be the banquet at the Reed Center. Applications are now available. This has been sponsored by the Kinsman Club since its inception here in Mount Pearl. And there have been applications that have gone out to a number of the community groups and organizations in the city to nominate people. But, beyond the community groups, this is open to anybody. And I've seen situations where there's people who might volunteer at school, might volunteer at the church, or I've even seen situations, for example, where there would be, say, a widower, and the next door neighbor for the last number of years has been, shoveling her driveway every winter, mowing her grass in the summertime, and just showing general kindness. And so you don't necessarily have to be a member of a service club or organization to be nominated for Mount Pearl Citizen of the Year. So if anybody knows of anyone who, has made a contribution to our community and continues to do good deeds for people, then I certainly encourage them to bring that person's name forward and to fill out an application and nominate them. And then even if they don't actually win, they still get to go to the banquet and to be recognized for the good work they're doing in our community. How
many nominees are there usually?
It varies from year to year. Normally you might see 5 or 6, tends to be the norm, somewhere around there. There's been less and there's been more.
Okay. So we all know somebody who looks like a person that we might like to think of as Citizen of the Year. Somebody needs a little recognition for what they've been doing perhaps for a long time. So, yeah, it probably isn't that big of a deal in terms of investment of time and effort. So just pick up a nomination and fill it out, and you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. You can pick up nomination forms at Mount Pearl City Hall. You can get them you can go on the city's website, or if they wish, they can contact me as a member of the Kinsman Club of Mount Pearl, and I'll certainly get a application to them. And let's recognize some good people in our community that are doing great work, and we certainly have a lot of them in Mount Pearl.
What's the deadline again?
The deadline to have the application submitted is March the 24th. And then the actual Citizen of the Year banquet itself will be on April 21st.
Okay, sir. All right. Well, listen, thanks very much for this. Appreciate it. And let us know how the legislation that you're talking about goes. Sounds like it's probably going to go through.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's gone through second reading in committee. So really it just needs to be third reading is basically just it just gets read out. Generally speaking, there is no debate for the most part. So I suspect it's a done deal now. And like I said, it's one step. I've talked about many things. That was one of them. I have many more to talk about as time goes on. But, if, like I said, if government do good things, I'll be the first one that will call in or stand up and applaud them on good initiatives. I believe this was a good one, and I encourage them to continue down this road.
Okay, got to go. Thanks again.
All right, Pete, have a good afternoon.
Take care.